Hey everybody, and tonight, Monday night, I thought we could all use a 1985 Montgomery Ward Christmas wish book. This is the catalog that all kids wanted to look at in the 80s. As you can see, the spine and the back. On the back we got a VCR, and that's another thing that kids wanted so they could watch their favorite movies and cartoons over the Christmas holiday. As you can see, the old style remote was a wired remote. We had one like this. You could also get a wireless one. We had a VCR very similar to this one with a counter. I remember these very buttons. That's the wireless sensor right there. And then later on we got a top loading one. And on the front cover we can see the sort of presents that the kids would be dreaming about. Care Bears, Care Bear Cousins, Rainbow Bright, Masters of the Universe. These are the special He-Mans and Skeletor that had caps in them that made a popping sound. Transformers. So and it's all on this little tree with this train with this Christmas tree here. It just looks great. So let's get into this catalog. I hope you stick around for this video if you're interested in 1985. We're gonna show you what it was to be a kid in 1985. Look at all these Care Bears. Wish Bear, Funshine Bear, Love a Lot Bear, Tenderheart Bear, Grumpy Bear, Friend Bear, Bedtime Bear, Good Luck Bear, New Share Bear, New Champ Bear, Cheer Bear, and Birthday Bear. And some of them talk. And these were really popular in 1985. As you can see, it is all about the Care Bears and the Care Bear Cousins, which were other animals. And you could get all of the Care Bear decor, such as this sort of toy box, this desk, different desks, nightstands, a kitchen set, a radio with a Walkman, tricycles. Here is some plastic action figure types of the Care Bear Cousins and the Care Bears. And this old guy, and I think he's the villain here, that's Professor Cold Heart and the Cloud Keeper, and I think that's the Cloud Keeper. You can get some roller skates, some wristwatches. You get your bedspreads. Now, I just want to make a disclaimer here. I wasn't into Care Bears myself. I was a Star Wars, M.A.S.K, and Masters of the Universe kind of guy. G.I. Joe. Here's M.A.S.K. These were kind of like a fusion of Transformers and regular action figures. This is the only M.A.S.K I ever had. This guy with his motorcycle that turned into a helicopter. Actually have it right here. And you could transform it into the helicopter. Small action figure that was quite posable. And the helmet came off. So that was his mask. That was the technology was in the mask. So set that aside. So these were the different M.A.S.K vehicles and characters. And there's a sleeping bag, a bedspread, a watch, gear. I liked M.A.S.K, and I had a little group of friends, and we liked it so much that I took white t-shirts and made my own M.A.S.K designs on them with a marker. But as soon as my mom washed them, all the marker stuff came off. This is Princess of Power, She-Ra. Basically the girl version of He-Man. And she had, instead of Castle Grayskull, she had the Crystal Castle. But essentially it was pretty much the same thing. I mean, there was like a stand-in for the different characters. And she had a male sidekick, like He-Man had Teela. She didn't have Orko, she had this little cute, big-eared creature. And instead of Battle Cat, they had these Pegasuses, or this flying goose. So, you could get a tricycle with a picture of She-Ra on the front of it, if you wanted that. And there's your sword, shield, M.A.S.K layout here. And the She-Ra and He-Man bedroom suites. The sleeping bag, the luggage for the sleepover, the bedspreads, sheets, curtains. And now we get into Masters of the Universe, Castle Grayskull. Oh, look at this, the evil horde, and look at this little snake puppet. I mean, there were some, Masters of the Universe was really kind of a cool set, I have to admit. There's Faker, Mossman, Stinkor. I think he smelled like he stunk. The He-Man and Skeletor Power Punch figures. Was his name like Double Trouble or something? They all had like funny gimmicks, and that's what made He-Man figures so special. I mean, in a little case that could hold 4 He-Man figures because they were so chunky. And then, you know, if you really want to get into your He-Man, you can get your Castle Grayskull here, a clock, just all kinds of stuff. Games, toothbrushes, alarm clocks. This tricycle with a shield on the front of it. A Walkman. Now, we've got Masters of the Universe bedtime stuff. You know, you put this on Christmas morning while you're opening your presents. Get into the spirit of things. These are Wuzzles, and Wuzzles were also big in the 80s. They were kind of a Care Bear thing, sort of. I mean, it was the big thing for girls. And they had all of their gear. As you can see, some Wuzzles made it to the cover. The elephant looking one. They're kind of like weird animals that are fusions of like a bat and a donkey, an elephant and a kangaroo, you know. And you can get your Wuzzles bedroom suite, just like the He-Man one. You can get a makeup set, toiletries, and then we get to G.I. Joe. A tent, you know, radios, walkie-talkies, and the amazing lineup of G.I. Joe figures. This aircraft carrier, wow. The fighters, the A-10, all of the boats. I mean, and you could buy a whole bunch of these shipwreck figures to be your sailors. I mean, pretty amazing. Next, we are on Rainbow Bright and all of her little minions. This was another really popular 80s thing for girls. I don't remember all the characters. The Color Kids, Lala orange, buddy blue, shy violet, patio green, indigo. You see a trend here. A lot like Care Bears and Wuzzles. And once again, if your daughter loves Rainbow Bright, you could set up her bedroom with everything from the artwork to the curtains to the chair to the bed, the tricycle, the Walkman, the pajamas. And now we switch back to boys with Transformers. And you can get a watch with a little Transformer on it. All the different characters. These were also just incredibly popular. And continuing this train set, a Transformers train set. Tricycle, Transformer Rock'em Sock'em Robots. It says Battling Robots, but that's basically just Rock'em Sock'em Robots repackaged, just like the space helmet. They made one for Star Trek back in the late 70s. And the Transformer bedroom set, sleeping bag, tent, and sleeping apparel. Now we have Tomy Robots. These were kind of a fad. I don't think they were super popular because, I vaguely remember them. And I remember, like, in the commercials, the parents seemed more interested than the kids. But they made lots of these different robots. And as you can see, this one looks a lot like Wall-E right here. And this one looks like a dog. This looks like an owl. They could do things. They could slowly bring over, like, drinks with a little TV tray. This is GoBots, the Transformers for poor kids. I had a GoBot. Basically, they were Transformers. They made a GoBots movie that had Orson Welles doing voice work in it. But they were important enough to have a sleeping bag and some apparel. But I don't see a whole GoBots bedroom set. Because, like I said, GoBots were the Transformers for the poor kids. So the poor kids are going to have to sell with a sleeping bag. My Little Pony. And you can get all of these things. They have diapers and cribs, and since they don't have, well, yep, they got the bedroom set. Better believe it. My Little Pony was big. And they got this sleeping apparel. Now we got to Hug-a-Bunch, which is a Cabbage Patch Kids ripoff. Didn't last very long, didn't have good staying power. But basically, these are Huggins and her Huglet, Hugsy and his Huglet, Precious Hugs, Bubbles, Patooey, Tickles. Yeah, these didn't last. But they tried. They tried to make, the Walkman and all that stuff. And if you were really into Hug-a-Bunch, you could get your bedroom done up with Hug-a-Bunch, and you could get all your sleep apparel for Christmas morning. But you would know that if you did commit to Hug-a-Bunch, and if you went to the party and everyone else had Cabbage Patch Kids, you were going to be the odd person out. Here we have Karate. This was popular because of the Karate Kid, and the Karate Kid came out in '84, so everyone wanted to be Ralph Macchio, and including me, so I would have loved all of this karate stuff. Now we get to the incredible fad of Cabbage Patch Kids. These kicked in '84 really big, and even my teachers were buying them. That's how nutty Cabbage Patch Kids got. And Cabbage Patch Kids were, I guess you could say, like the American Girl doll. I don't know if those are still popular. Then they got little Cabbage Patch critters here. I never liked these. I'll just tell you. And I think the home of Cabbage Patch Kids might be in Alabama too, I think. But, I always thought they were weird looking. Then bedroom, get your bedroom done up like Cabbage Patch Kids. And we continue. We're in 1985. Reagan's president. The Cold War's still going on. Sting is topping the charts. The Cosby Show was on TV. What else was going on in the 80s? You know, it was a feeling of optimism in the country. Cartoons on Saturday morning were a big deal. Sectars. I always wanted these, and my parents never got them for me. They had to, I could only have so many action figure franchises, I think. But these were kind of the poor man's Masters of the Universe. As you can see, they had their own little Castle Grayskull, too. They had a little tarantula he was riding. And Sectars don't get a bedroom suite, but glowworms do, and glow bugs and the whole glowworm gang here. Remember the commercials for glowworm? Then here's just the basic for kids who don't get a toy that year. And we get to Barbie and Ken, looking very dapper. And this day to night Barbie, during the day they work and at night they party. Here's Barbie's office, her bedroom, her car, her kitchen, her exercise gym, her bathroom, her dog. So much controversy over this doll over the years. This is in the 80s. Barbies just looked like Barbie pretty much. They didn't care about controversy back then too much. Here we have the stuffed animals. Garfield was hot. Odie was hot. That was a child version of the Pink Panther. Bugs Bunny. And then a bunch of generic teddy bears. And more stuffed animals. Hello Kitty. Big Bird. The Chipmunks. Muppet Babies were really big in the 80s. And the thing was, it was cool to watch Muppet Babies, even if you were like if you're in the 5th or 6th grade, we still watched Muppet Babies. Fraggle Rock was big. Undercover Bears. These guys are called Chubbles. They look kind of like Ewoks. The Grinch Ewoks. Here's actual Ewoks. In case your kid wanted a Charlie McCarthy ventriloquist dummy, you could get that for him. And then Lester, Willie Tyler's ventriloquist pal of TV fame, joins Charlie. That's Lester. That's Charlie McCarthy from way back. Snorks. Vaguely remember those. There was a cartoon show for that. These are just not Barbie dolls. These are glamorous fashion dolls. Probably cheaper. A little bit of fairy tale inspiration. Then you got your Breyer horse models, your classic cars, which I have some of these. I had that very one right here. I really did like these classic cars in the 80s. The Gone with the Wind dolls, Rhett Butler and Scarlett O'Hara. These are from Dynasty. Alexis has the power, the glory, and the courage to take it all. The 3rd edition in Celebrity Collection from Dynasty TV dolls. That's Linda Evans. That's Joan Collins. Shirley Temple, Elvis Presley. These are like, celebrity dolls. And these Gone with the Wind dolls, these are mostly for adults. These are just like for adults who collect dolls. Goldberger dolls. Don't know much about them. Horseman dolls. I don't know if these are like good brands or not. I just didn't know much. Raggedy Ann was very popular in the late 70s. She started diminishing by 1985, but in around 1980, Raggedy Ann was all the rage. You'd see little girls walking around with their Raggedy Ann dolls. We got baby stuff. You know, simple child development toys. You know, these, I have to admit, don't lie. If you were a kid in the 80s and if you were babysitting, you would play with these toys too. Let me tell you, I had fun with these. Or if you're watching the kid and you had like this set of tools or whatever, you know you're gonna play with them. Because some of these things were just kind of fun to play with. Glowworm, basically a nightlight / stuffed animal. These things, the see and says, were real big. You pull the string and the cow says moo, whatever, the instrument goes like this. Very popular. Noise making toys, these little connector, basically giant Legos. Big wood blocks. I had blocks like this when I was a kid. Still, I you know, I had a lot of fun with these blocks. I stacked them all the time. And I remember playing with them a lot as a kid. Educational toys, and we get into things like typewriters. You know, in school we needed these. We used typewriters. I'm trying to see if I had any of this stuff. I had something similar to one of these toys where you would put a sheet over these buttons and there would be games to teach you lessons and stuff. I don't quite remember which one it was. These were pretty popular, these Texas Instruments ones. The Speak and Spell was the most popular of the three. That was just a very, very popular toy. And this one, Little Professor, was also very popular. Little desks, beanbag chairs. More classic looking toy boxes, wood finish, outdoor stuff for kids. And you got little girls' kitchen sets, microwaves. The food I always thought was interesting, you know, the toy food. It had real name brands, which was, you know, kind of cool because this was an advertisement. This was designed to get your parents thinking too about buying groceries. And micro bake. They had a lot of easy bake ovens and things like that back then. Make cookies. I mean, look at all of the food stuff. Just lots and lots of stuff. And then we get to the old-timey doll houses. And we're more basic games for kids. And we get to more sophisticated games for older kids like Battleship, which adults still play. The 1935 Monopoly set, we bought that as a family. We played that a lot. My family loves to play Monopoly, and the games just go on for hours and hours and hours. Rodney Dangerfield No Respect game. Techmate. I'm trying to see if I remember any of these. New York Times crossword puzzle game. We get into target shooting games. Clue, Rich Little Charade game. Murder to Go. Another Monopoly kind of thing that didn't last. Life Remembers. There was a lot of this throwback stuff in the 80s too. So we had a lot of like throwback to the 30s, throwback to the 50s kind of stuff. Trivial Pursuit was very popular in 1985. It was like the yuppie game. It was like all of the sophisticated grown-ups would play Trivial Pursuit. And little pool sets, skee ball, football. The electronic chess games they made some pretty sophisticated ones. My brother bought one, and he had a rough time beating that thing. They were pretty well done. Simon, I mostly remember that from the 70s. These gum machines and slot machines that you basically were savings banks. Then you get your clocks and watches with your sports, your Garfield, your Dr. Seuss. Calculator watches. I went through 2 or 3 calculator watches. They didn't last very long. That was the bad thing about them. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. This is what I like. Star Wars stuff. The Ewok Village. The Jabba the Hutt set. The Millennium Falcon. The Imperial Shuttle. The skiff. This is actually from these action figures are not from Return of the Jedi. These are from one of the shows, like Ewoks or Droids or something. But they put it on the skiff, which is interesting. Because, yeah, these figures are from a whole different franchise, which is just an interesting picture. Then you got your basics. These are from Ewoks or something. Because that's King Gornish, Lady Gornish, Dulak Scout, Dulak Shaman. Very, very scarce action figures now. Here's your basic Star Wars. R2, Yoda, Obi-Wan. So you can still find these. These were the newer ones here. Well, not Darth Vader. Then the Superpowers collection was really cool. You had Batman and Robin with a Batmobile. You had a Hall of Justice collector case. Superman, Wonder Woman. So these were good, and they were almost in the same scale as Star Wars. So they were really great. Then you have your Marvel figures. There's Magneto, Spider-Man, and these were cool because the shields had a low ventricular thing, and I had Dr. Doom. I really wanted Captain America, and I think he's in this helicopter here. Yeah, these were very cool. Wheeled Warriors. I don't think I had any of these. Inspector Gadget. I would have loved that. He has all kinds of little features. This is... looks like Voltron, but it's Chronoform Multiforce. These are like poor man's Transformers here. This is your Voltron. Now that's the toy every kid wanted right here, was the Voltron. And there's the figures, the Voltron characters who piloted the little lions and their little base. I would have gone insane for these. And the bad guys. And then different incarnations of Voltron. There was a car one. There was all kinds of different Voltrons. It was really popular. Robotics. This is for smart kids, constructing things. I was never interested in that. And Legos. As you can see, Legos were still pretty basic. You could get like an airport. And then here's your basic Lego stuff. There's like a medieval castle. some space things, some Lego City things, but they were fairly basic. Lego hadn't exploded yet like it did later. Where are we at now? Star Trek Quasar Illuminator. These are futuristic toys, and they come with action figures to make them more interesting. Then there you got your Hot Wheels. Loved Hot Wheels, of course, as a kid. Like your backup toy. You know, if you didn't feel like your action figures, you could always play with your Hot Wheels. You got your four-wheelers. This is a Montgomery Ward catalog. Insurance. Some of these look quite familiar to me. Tonka toys, I think. Is this Tonka? Yeah, Tonka. The toys are rugged construction vehicles built to handle the great outdoors. These heavy-duty toys can load, haul, mix, and move piles of sand and dirt. Tonka tough steel and high-impact plastic provide long-lasting fun and performance. Tonka ads always stressed their sturdiness and durability, which I always thought was, you know, really kind of neat. And all of these various remote control things. I didn't get very many remote control toys as a kid because they were very expensive. Different racetracks for your cars. Tyco. This kind of stuff was, this type of train set. This was just really cool. You could make a whole town for your cars. And we get to actual train sets now. I just had to shotgun just that coffee before it gets cold, because this video is going to be a long one. I always wanted to get into training, but I had a basic train set my dad got for me, but it was very basic, and I never got into all of the, you know, making the terrain and the mountains and all that stuff. It always looked like it'd be fun. These are sun catchers. This was pretty popular. My mom would buy them and for me to make, and then she would put them in the window. Of course, I didn't do Cabbage Patch Kids and stuff. I did Star Wars ones, but then she would buy like an owl or something she actually liked so she could put in the window. More games. These are Etch-a-Sketch, stamp sets, Crayola caddies. The Crayola designer kit, I actually had that, and this was really cool. I had this very set. It came with all of these ideas to make cars and stuff. I thought it was a very mature thing. I used to try to design these cars and stuff. It was really neat. Poochie, Sweet Secrets. Don't really remember these too much. Then you get your war toys, your cowboy toys. And then you have People Magazine, the game. Your basic dolls. Your science stuff. Yeah, the microscopes and scalpels. And I had this one. I remember the little vials. I had those exact ones. I had that exact set. I had everything you see here. The slides. And I would go out there to a pond or whatever and try to find algae and stuff. I remember, and these were dyes and stuff. One was like a sticky substance, one was like a dye, so you could make out little creatures in the pond water and stuff. The wood shop toys. We had a rock tumbler. My parents really used it. They would find rocks, and then they would tumble them and make, my dad would use his Dremel tool and make little jewelry pieces like that, just for hobbying and for fun. And let's get down to Christmas decorations. In 1985, they were pretty basic. You know, your wrapping paper and your trees. And you got your nativity scenes, your Santa Claus suits. As you can see, they were quite basic, very traditional. Some VHS, a Golden Book video. These are VCR video collection. The creator of Little Golden Books brings these favorite stories to life on your TV screen. So there's a Masters of the Universe, Sesame Street. So that's pretty cool. They were $12, which was kind of priced to own for any kind of VHS back then. The Bible on cassette. And we got kind of early synthesizer, a little Muppet Babies one with Ralph, the piano playing dog. These are book and tapes, and I mean really big ones. I had some Star Wars ones. I really liked them, but I had records. I mean the tapes. See, the tapes came out later, and I was too old for them when the tapes came out. Make a clock out of potatoes. I remember quite a lot of this stuff. Karaoke, record players, music stuff. Then you get into your the 4x4 was popular for kids. Knight Rider. The regular classic tricycle. The big wheels. You know, the radio flyer, red wagons. This is mostly for very young kids. This looks like a cat toy, really. And these are Huddles. I remember these. These were kind of an attempt to make little dolls for boys, but they were football themed. They were, there was different versions or different ideas along with this, but kind of popular for a hot second. And then you get all of your team branding stuff. And your favorite players, Walter Payton, you know, Dan Marino. And your sleepwear for the sport fan kids. You see how they would wear the shorts outside of, do you remember the Goonies when Josh Brolin would wear like his shorts outside of his sweats? Those guys did that back then. I never understood why. Winter clothing. This is what it looked like back then. Pretty basic. Oh, WWF wrestling. It was rockin' wrestling too, with Hulk Hogan and Cyndi Lauper and all that stuff. These are clothes, the things the kids didn't want. Those doggone belts with the elastic. This funny sort of double-breasted blazers to make your kid look like a little senior citizen. No baby doll outfits. Little school outfits for little girls. Just baby clothes. More of your collegiate clothing. The suspenders. This looks like Mork and Mindy kind of. Just basic kids wear. Flannel, terry cloth. Schoolgirl outfits. This fall fur coat. Sure, hope that's a fake fur coat. Puffy coats. Luggage. Now we're into luggage because what do you do over the holidays? Back when we didn't have pandemics, you traveled. You went to see the grandparents, and here's the luggage and the luggage set. You get monogrammed. There's, that's for your camera. Here's all of the stuff to bring with you. Shoe stuff. Well, this is some kind of foot massager thing. Okay. Makeup stuff, hair curlers. My mom had hair curlers like that. All this electric razor stuff. Whoa, this is Christmas tree aroma disc fragrances. I remember these disc fragrances things. These did not last very long. I don't know why. Aroma disc player. I don't know why they didn't last. They might have been like a fire hazard or something. Prestige fragrances. Stetson. Well, I got that every year. Usually with a soap on a rope with it. And here's all the hoity-toity soapy stuff. These are real popular then. Here's the index so the kids can jump right to the toy they want. And now we're getting into grown-up stuff. See, it's separated here so the kids know not to even bother treading into this area. And we get to these smart-looking ladies' outfits. And if you watched my last catalog, I mentioned that my mom, this is how I visualize my mom because, this is how she dressed when I was a kid. So of course, looking at this brings back lots of memories. This is their clubbing clothes, as you can see. Wild and crazy outfits. This is your work. The cameo pin, I know it looks kind of lame now, but one Christmas, my dad gave me $25 and he told me to go buy my mom a cameo because she wanted one. She had something like that going on. So I bought her one. And he told me which one to buy her. It's like work outfits. Then workout clothing. Rockettes. We're getting into like the Thanksgiving parade. Check out these swatches. Sports swatches, but are they actually swatches? They look like swatches, but I don't think they actually are. Swatches were real popular. My mom had lots of skirts like this. The folded, pleated, whatever you call it. This is, we're getting into the shoulder pads. That cool clubbing outfit. Some sophisticated outfits. This is very 80s. Look here. This is a very popular look in the 80s. The leather jacket look was pretty cool. The hat, that look was really cool. That look, she looks a little bit like the Weird Science. What was her name? Oh gosh, get Kelly LeBrock. Boy, everyone had a crush on Kelly LeBrock. Look at these slippers that look like animal feet. That's like something you'd see nowadays. And we're getting back into some kids stuff. Kids slippers. Cozy winter slippers. Booties. My mom had these booties. She liked those a lot. And robes for those cold winter mornings. And you get your name on it, Carol. Jewelry, or as we say where I live, jewelry. And you know, the usual jewelry you see. Class rings. A lot of these colored stone rings were real popular back then. Jewelry boxes. These square watches were real popular. I remember all the time, like I would, you know, for Christmas my grandparents would buy me a nice watch, like, you know, one of these things, and it never fit. It was always too big for my wrist, so could never wear it. My dad, well, I used to carry a pocket watch like this. He had the kind that had the different. These were real popular for men in the 80s. My dad had the chain going on and everything in his suit. It looked really smooth. That's the watch I wanted. You know, I wanted the calculator watch. Cubic zirconia. And we're getting into men's stuff. The cardigan. Zip up sweaters. You see, this looks like something you'd wear nowadays. Looks pretty smooth. A lot of these looks, in my opinion, haven't changed much. You could get away with it again. Now these are pretty 80s. That's pretty dated. Velour is kind of dated in general. Velour was very, very popular then. Of course, the old flannel shirt never goes out of style. The vest, the fishing vest, the denim, what do we call it? The Canadian tuxedo. Sorry for my Canadian fans. I hope you have a sense of humor. I love Canada, but you guys do wear a lot of denim. The blazer. The three-piece. My dad, that was his look. He had the three-piece suit going on all the time with the vest. The jackets. This 1950s style jacket. I wonder if we are past members only or if we're before. Look at these detective trench coats, like this Bogart looking thing. See, I like that look. I wish we could still wear stuff like that. Let's see. Ski outfits. More robes. She looks like that Addicted to Love girl in the Robert Palmer video. We get confections, those doggone things, those little trees. We got those all the time from family. They were full of like these terrible little strawberry candies. These little strawberry candies, they were awful. They were like hard and they had like a jelly on the inside. Fruit cake. Oh gosh, this is, see, I mentioned in my last video that I loved all the Hickory Farm stuff and everything, but there was a limit to these little strawberry candies that you could have before you got sick of them. Beanbag chairs. My parents bought me and my brother beanbag chairs. Nutcrackers. You know, so I don't ever, in the 80s, I tried to crack nuts with them. I took a pecan and I tried to take this nutcracker that we had that was given to us, and I tried to crack it and it broke the nutcracker. They don't work, there's decorations. And I'm like, what's the point? And we're getting into lighting. Remember, we do need to buy a new lamp for our living room. The old regulator clock, my grandpa had that one. This brass stuff was real big. Curio shells. My mom got into this. She liked to collect little baubles like this kind of stuff and put it in little shelves. And that was an 80s thing. I don't know what happened to all of them over the years. Look at this. It's a globe, but it's also a hidden bar. I like that's TV tables. And dinnerware. Thermoses, knife sets, irons, grills, kitchen appliances. The heck is that thing? A food processor. All kinds of stuff. Bacon, we had that bacon microwave thing. After a few servings, you could never get the bacon stains off of it. It just never worked very well. We got exercise stuff. That looks to be a .22 caliber rifle, a putter, a survival knife, a telescope like a ship captain would have, ice skates. This just seems to be a shotgun shells. I mean, this is just like we just ran out of ideas. We're just putting everything on one page. A unicycle. Sporting equipment. Go to a pawn shop. You will find lots of golf bags. If you want to start taking up golf, don't go to a sporting goods store. Go to a pawn shop. Because whenever there's a divorce, the first thing the wife gets rid of is the golf stuff. That's why you will always find golf bags and clubs out the yin-yang at a pawn shop. This is a very rickety looking treadmill. I just feel like if I stepped on that thing, I would crush it. Sporting equipment. And these are black powder kits. You could make these black powder weapons here. You could, I think you got all the parts and you had to put them together. Cool little binoculars. And then you get your real camping, your air mattress, or what is that, a floaty thing? Oh, that's, or maybe a floaty thing and an air mattress. Your thermoses, your lanterns, chainsaw. Oh, the old microflame ovens, sewing kits, the vacuums that these vacuums. I mean, these things probably would still work today. Cameras, little fridges to put in your dorm room. Cameras, lenses. Look how expensive this camera equipment was. I mean, camera equipment's mostly obsolete now, unless you're a professional. Photo albums. We had lots of those. Computers. Yep. Full-on computers. Computer games. Computer applications. Do your taxes. So forth. This is early computers. This is 1985 computers. Right next to the adding machines and stuff. There's not a lot going on here. Typewriters. 18. These are answering machines. These are it had a couple tapes in there, one for your message and one for your outgoing message and one for your incoming messages. There's your Cabbage Patch phone. We had this phone. Wish we had that phone. That's just cool looking. No, that is not a video phone. That is a phone where you could put pictures of your grandkids, and so you could flip it and find their number. photogenic memory dialer, which lets you instantly call your favorite people. Holds 9 photos of close friends. Each number can be programmed into the memory. So that's for people who have a real bad memory. They just like flip through like, I need to call him. They don't even remember the name of the person. They have to see the picture. Little TVs. Alarm clocks. Clock radios. CBs and police scanners and all that stuff. CBs were still big. Synthesizers. Electronic drums. Music equipment. These are VHS and Betamax tape holders. We had quite a few of those. And we figured out that when you filled it to capacity and stacked them on top of each other, they would smash each other. A full one would smash the one below it. It's just because they were made out of cheap plastic. Your Walkman-y kind of stuff. Your boom boxes. Boom boxes with a TV and dual cassette tape, so you could steal tapes from the library and copy them. When you checked out your tapes, you could copy that AC/DC or that Van Halen cassette you wanted. And we get to TVs. $500 for this wood-paneled television. This big, giant television for $2,000. Wow. Oh my gosh. TVs were so expensive back then. Considering a well-to-do family made $25,000 a year. Think about how much of a paycheck that was to buy that family TV. Wow. I mean, they were all so expensive. We had, the old entertainment centers still being, well, I don't know if they make anymore because they just don't make TVs that fit that anymore. Accent TVs for your boys' room and your girls' room. A pink one. Or if you were that crazy 1980s girl who had the big giant crayon and the big giant toothbrush, you could also have your pink TV to accent your cool 80s apartment. Look how much a VCR was. That's why we rented them. So a camcorder was $1,000. A VCR was $700. I don't know how my parents afforded to buy it, but we had a VCR. We ended up getting 2 VCRs, so my parents would rent movies at the video rental place and they would copy them. But after a while, they put security features in the VHSs, so you couldn't copy them anymore. They got wise to that, because for the longest time we were copying tapes all the time. So this is it. I gave you Christmas in 1985. This is all the things that we looked forward to. And this is the stuff I look forward to here. Star Wars. Of course, by 1985, I was almost getting too old for them. But, I got my first Star Wars action figures in 1979. They were still neat. But, it was still cool to look through all this stuff. These were all the cool things in 1985. It's really neat. And I swear that these are for grown-ups. What kid wants Dynasty dolls? Or Gone with the Wind dolls? Come on. The Shirley Temple. That's for some old lady. She would have that. And the Elvis? The Dynasty collection is keepsakes for true fans. Crystal represents a world of romance and glamour from the Dynasty TV series dolls, the 4th edition in our celebrity collection. Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Leave a comment and click the bell icon, and I'll answer your comment. So, unless it's really rude or something. So, but I do, or if I just can't answer it, not necessarily rude ones. So sometimes I just don't know what to say. Someone will answer it. Until next time, bye.